I'll call the meeting to order. We'll please stand and face the flag, and we'll do the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sonia, will you take roll call, please?
Yep, Commissioner Corbin,
Here.
Commissioner Wire,
Here.
Commissioner Digital,
Here.
Commissioner Shaw,
Here.
Mayor Denner.
Here. We have the agenda in front of us. Do I have a motion up the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Is there any further comments or discussion on the agenda? Not hearing any. All in favor, signify by aye. All opposed? Motion carried. We'll move down into appearances acknowledgement. Item number 1, do I have a motion to acknowledge the application for permit to right of way and set data hearing for August 2nd, 5:30 p.m. for Dakota State University, corner of Northwest 3rd Street and Van Alps?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Do you have one? This one, yeah.
Well, just a overview on that is DSU submitted this application to permit to occupy the right of way at this property here. They were looking to add some parking on street by paving through the boulevard there. They submitted this application, the same request a couple years ago. At that point, the application was not approved. They were able to find some interim parking in that meantime, and that parking is now no longer available. So they are coming back with this request again. I don't know if anybody was on the commission at that time. It doesn't matter either way. They'll be going through the same overview and explanation of what they're asking for this time. So we're just setting a date for the hearing for 2 weeks from now. I've instructed the engineering department to send out notices to surrounding property owners so they're aware of this as well.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Not hearing any. All in favor, signify by aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion to approve the consent calendar and a second. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. We have nothing under unfinished business. We'll move into new business. Fred, you want to bring us up to speed on item number 1, accept Madison Aquatic Center electrical upgrade proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission. Should have in your packet of just a summary of one bid that we received for there's Booth Electric on the work to put in the new electrical equipment that we have. This will be the 3 panels, the motor control center, and redo all the grounds and make sure that everything is working and install the new heater. So there's all that work is entailed in there. We solicited bids from every, well, as many as we could, local contractors that had expressed interest in it in the past. Gave them I think it was about 12 days or so to put bids together, knowing that we had already gotten the materials, and we only received 1 bid. That was from Muth. And my recommendation is that, you know, it's the only, only bid that we got, or only quote that we got, and it's for $35,872. And my recommendation is that we move forward with that. Muth has indicated they could start this week. We do have some of not all the pieces, but we got some of the pieces that'd be enough to get them started. And it'd be the motor control center. And so that'd be one big chunk that we can get knocked out. So my recommendation is that we award this to Muth.
How long will it take them, do you know?
They said in here, it depends on when we get all the materials here, but obviously I think they talked about it 8 weeks, if I remember right. It's been a day or two since I looked at this, but it was, they had it might've been in their email where they talked about it, where he thought they'd have about,
It was in the email and they said it 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Indicated.
I was gonna go on the long side. From what I remember, it was 8 weeks was the long end of it, so I'd go that route instead, so.
We have a motion to accept the Madison Aquatic Center electrical upgrade proposal. So moved.
Second.
Any further comments or questions?
I do. So the motor control center that changed via. And remind me of like is entirely covered by insurance?
We had an insurance settlement. The total, if I remember correctly, was just a little over 100 grand, and then they came back and gave us a 80-some thousand, $89,000, remember the numbers right? It was a percentage of that total of 100 and something. And we ended up around 89,000 from what I remember.
Okay.
So it's more or less covered. We're gonna end up probably in around the $9,000 to $10,000 range of cash out of pocket for all of these expenses when we're all said and done, and that includes the boiler and the install for the boiler. That's been my best guess estimate when we started. We ended up, this labor was a little bit higher than what we were anticipating, but our parts and materials were lower, and the two of them together basically came to the same number as what we were anticipating for the overall part of it. So we ended up back basically where we thought we would be at this point. And the same with the boiler. The boiler came in at the same value as what we thought it would be. Now, if we get the labor for what we thought we'll be, about where we thought we'd be to start with, which is going to be like say about $9,000 to $10,000 over what the insurance company would give us. And that was at, I believe, an 80% number. And that did not involve the painting and all that other stuff. This was just for the electrical parts.
Any other questions, comments? Not hearing any, all in favor, signify by aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2, review and award bid number 903 for Panama switches.
On the very back, you have the sheet that's the bid tab for the bids that we bid. Just were one bidder, but 3 bids, kind of an unusual circumstance. We had a second bidder that wanted to bid. They had an issue with their bid bond and couldn't get it here in time to put their bid in. And so that was kind of the issue there. We had 2 bidders, for whatever reason, the one of them had an issue with the bid bond, did not get that in. So we ended up with just 1 bidder and multiple bids. And what this is, the base bid basically was for a SF6 gas, type 11 switch, 3 of them. And those bids came in at $31,780 for a total for the 3 of them, with basements. There's a Nordic pads that go with it for $100,644. We also had an alternate to go with a stainless steel tank. These 3 switches are close to the roadway, and talking with DGR, those switches that are close to the roadway perform better if we go with the stainless steel tank so they don't rust through because of the road salt and everything that's in those areas. And so we went for that alternate. That alternate is $108,843 with the boxes. Originally thought about looking at the different boxes, but because they were shorter time frame, but the switches are 26 weeks and the boxes are 26 weeks. So it didn't seem to make any difference if we got boxes sooner because you couldn't put anything on them, the box pads. So it was my recommendation we would stick with Nordic. The other 2 bids were for solid dielectric. And in that case, there's no gas, there's no anything. It's just a heavy rubber insulation around a vacuum bottle interrupter. And they're a nice switch, nothing wrong with them. But they're quite a bit more money. In this case, about 17 grand a piece for the ones that you can't see inside of to see that you've got an open break. And then the other ones were almost double, 30,000, $500 for an additional cost of charge for the rubber molded with the safety view inside of them where you can see an open break in it for safety. My recommendation is that we stick with our base bid, but I'll go with the stainless steel tanks and recommend purchasing the 3 switches from Resco for a price of $108,843. That is a discrepancy. Their bid had a math error in it, and it came out at 109, 200 something, but I fixed that when I went through and did the math, and unit prices in state law bid are what rule. So I took the unit prices times the numbers and ended up with this 108,843. And this would be for the flood proofing of the 2 switches down at the water treatment plant and then one up on 7th. And we need to relocate the one on 7th. I'd like to, I don't know if we're gonna get that done, that work done on the wall, the rock wall up there this year. I don't think we are. I don't know where we're at on that, so hopefully we can get these in before that happens.
Is it the same as what we put in minus the stainless?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, we have 2 of these installed right now. One of them was installed similar to this beforehand for Global Polymer. When they moved in, they had one of these types of switches put in there. And there's one at Yale that we put in over just before the 4th of July weekend. And then we've got one at Memorial Park that's here, but we haven't put it in yet. But these 3 would finish up the project. We'd have all 5 of the switches that were close to inundation or were inundated during the flood, so that next time, when there hopefully won't be a next time, but you know how that is. Mother Nature kind of dictates that we have to be prepared.
Have a motion to review and award bid number 903 Panama switches.
So move. Second.
That's for the amount of how much, Fred?
It's 108,843. That would be the base bid plus stainless steel tank with the Nordic pads, base pads.
So on this bid, Roscoe gave us 3 different switches here.
3 different
Right.
options, yep.
And we're going with option 1.
Yep, option 1 with the alternate. Be the second to last column there with the 108,843.
When did you say we bought one of these last?
We bought 2 of them last year. I think we paid 30, I think it's 34 something total with box pads, so it was real close to the same price.
So that's where I was.
Yeah,
up to.
it was considering everything else that's going on right now, these were really well priced. I mean,
Okay.
compared to what I've seen out there in the market of things that have gone up, these were pretty much not much change in price compared to last year, so we were real happy with that. So it's a good thing to get them before they do go up.
Oh, that's fine. Means we only got one person bidding on it. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it's a good question and we did look at that. It was real close to last year's.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing any, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. Okay, announcements. Any announcements? Hearing any, do I have a motion to go into executive session for SDCL 1-25-24?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone.